Hello, everyone. Today we're going to interview an exceptional guest. We're interviewing Nathan Liu of Long Beach, California. Nathan is a budding drone photographer who's just getting his feet wet in the world of drone photography. He's also reviewing drones. So let's check in with Nathan and see what he has to say to us today. Thanks for joining the Soarcast, where we talk about drones, manned aircraft, and satellites, and how they relate to geospatial products found on the Soar platform. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Soarcast. Today we're interviewing Soar's second greatest contributor. So Nathan Liu is based out of Long Beach, California, and Nathan Liu has driven the Soar platform to the limits. I don't know the exact number of images that he's uploaded, but he's the all-time number two for images uploaded to Soar. So Nathan, it's really good to have you on the Soar program. Welcome to Soar.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, hi.
Well, it's really good to have you, and it's good to know that the platform is catering to people from various uses and people who are from across the world. So, Nathan, where are you based?
I'm in Long Beach, California, so in the West Coast. Yeah.
Okay, um, well that's good to know, and you may we're not aware of what I imagine the demographic of people that use Soar are close to me, sort of middle-aged guys who like gadgety things,
Mhm.
and find it as a nice hobby or diversion, or even in fact a business.
Yeah.
Um, but you are. Can you tell us your age and what year you're at in school?
So I'm 15 years old and I'm in ninth grade and I'm homeschooled, so it's a little different. But yeah, I'm a freshman in high school. Yeah. So a little different than I'm not the average drone user.
I would agree. That's true. And something I think is common to us all is that yeah, we love drones, we love trying them out. And something I learned when we were just having a chat is that you're on probably your seventh or eighth drone. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Uh-huh. I really love drones. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, and that's actually what the topic of today is we're looking at a drone we partnered with Contixo drones, who are based in I think it's Chino, California, or at least
Yeah.
Wayne, the gentleman we were chatting with to set this all up. Thank you, Wayne, is based in Chino, California. So probably what, half hour, 40 minutes away from Long Beach.
Yeah, it's actually pretty close. Yeah.
Okay, okay, but beyond visual line of sight, you couldn't fly your drone there.
No, no, definitely not. At least not with the drones we have today.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what Wayne did is he set us up with one of Contixo's models, the F24 Pro. It's a folding drone. And Nathan, if you have it there, maybe you could just hold it up so that yeah to your camera so that we can see what it does. And this is a folding drone. Their folding drones are nothing new. Something I learned interestingly, and I forget the name of the company, but everybody just assumes that DJI made the first folding drone, but it was another company. And maybe if somebody's watching us and they can put it in the comments, we'll give you a prize. So anyhow, um, but I think that the drone that made folding drones popular, of course, is the Mavic. But there's a significant, I guess, barrier to entry in that not everybody wants to plunk down a couple, thousand or $1,000 on a folding drone. They want to get into it, like many of us did, sort of on the cheap, make a small, I guess, investment and keep going. So, yeah, we think that the Contixo F24 Pro is certainly something that you could get started with. Uh, Nathan, maybe I can just ask you, how does it rate as a first time user drone?
I think that it's definitely a great first time user drone for anyone who wants to get into the hobby, or like me who like has had several drones in the past, just because it has a lot of features and it's just really easy to learn how to use, and then you could translate that into getting another drone in the future.
Hmm. Yeah, that's good to point out. And I guess in terms of size, it's something that you could just put in your backpack, go on a hike or something like that, like you were sharing earlier, and then pull it out and fly away. Is it quite portable?
Yeah, it's very portable actually. Right here you could see it's just like you could just fold it up and then it just goes like that really easily. So that's something I really like about that. Yeah, I can.
So I think I think the flight time listed for this is 25 to 30 minutes. Any have you what's your estimation on going out and flying with a battery? Have you gone out and flown one till the end? What's your estimation on flight time, or how does that compare to, say, I know you have a Mavic Air?
Yeah. So that's definitely something that you have to take into account when you're buying a drone. And I think that definitely this drone has a pretty solid battery. I wouldn't say it's like the best top of the market, but of course that's expectable because it's at this really low affordable price range. But yeah, for me, I haven't necessarily like pushed it to its furthest, but I'd say that I can get like around 17 to 20 minutes. I think I'm not sure the rating on this drone for how how long the battery life is, but it's definitely enough to like get there into the air and get some nice shots and have enough battery to bring it back down. Yeah, and something
Hmm.
I like is that once the drone senses that it has too little battery life, it'll just come down and return to home automatically. So yeah, that's definitely a plus for it. Even though it's not like the absolute greatest battery life,
Hmm.
it comes back when it needs to.
Yeah, I wish, frankly, I wish all drones were like that they would just come back to you, or at a certain point, yeah, that I know that a lot of them have a fail-safe feature, but they're not completely fail-safe, as many of us know.
Yeah.
Um, and in terms of the picture quality, so you've probably taken some pictures. I know that it has a very wide angle lens. I
Yeah.
think I've seen a few. So if you're taking a picture of something, say, far away, maybe you could just give us your experience with the picture quality.
Yeah, so as for the picture quality, it's a little bit warped, so it's like a fisheye view. So some people actually like that over like the straight view they see in the camera like this, but I think that this drone, so it's 1080p rated, and
Hmm.
even though I wouldn't use this like footage that I get from this for like any type of like video or like mapping like the world, just because its zoom isn't too great and it's just not very great quality, but to get started is definitely enough. Like you don't need this super high end 4K sensor right away.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I can remember, 20 years ago, reading about guys putting cameras on kites, or cameras on RC aircraft, or
Yeah.
cameras on model rockets, and they just had to get what they got. If they got a photo of sort of the park or the street, they were happy. And so yeah, we are a little bit spoiled. We're getting
Yeah.
quality images that are better than we could get, with our camera phone. I think that's kind of the standard now. If you can get images that are similar quality to your camera phone, then you're doing pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you fly FPV. When you fly FPV, is that does that have distortion, or is that undistorted, I guess?
I think that yeah, same with FPV. I'm still getting into the hobby, but basically, yeah, it's the similar
Mhm.
concept. The lens is as fisheye as possible, so that you can see everything around you and you don't crash into anything.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's I was just making a guess, but I would think if you're, flying through a race course, trying to set a good time, having that peripheral view would really
Yeah,
help. And honestly, I think that's why some people crash their drones when they're flying
that's
around
true.
obstacles like trees and things like that. You just don't know
Yeah.
there's a tree branch right next to your drone until suddenly your video is spinning, and then
You
it's
know the
it's
terrible
time to go
fate.
find your drone.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
uh,
I think that's something good about this drone that even though it's not the most amazing quality, it still is enough and it's 1080p, something that you can
mhm,
see on phones or like cameras like this, but
mhm.
then that field of view that's very wide also helps with safety. So yeah.
Okay. Um, have you crashed it?
Not in the way you would call a normal crash, but yes, I have crashed it before. I think so I was trying to fly the drone from I was trying to fly from inside outside. So I successfully did that, but then when
Hmm.
I was outside, I was trying to land it and it kind of skidded to the side and nicked the propellers. But that's something also that I wanted to bring up, that these propellers, because they're not stiff like propellers that you would have on a Mavic Air where it's stiff and it's like, yeah, stiff. These propellers are looser, so they still cut through the air just as well. But what now when you hit an obstacle, they'll just swing backwards, so you won't get that much damage to the motors. Or yeah, it's just overall safer. I think.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Um, and what about sort of range and video and connectivity? I think you mentioned you went out to the park and had a fly, and um, how what was your experience with the sort of range and connectivity when you were flying it?
Yeah. So the range on this thing is actually surprising for a drone like this. I actually pushed it pretty far and I never lost the signal. I wouldn't try to like I didn't want to try to push it any further just because I don't like losing my drones, so I didn't want to like push it to the limit, but definitely like it can go like if you wanted to. Not, I'm not saying do it, but if you wanted to, you could push it out of line of sight. So, yeah, so I got to fly it really high and I was like it's really reliable and if there's any problem, the drone senses that you're too far away or it doesn't have enough battery. You don't need to
Mhm.
like manually fly it back. It'll just go into a fail safe and fly its way back to where it took off. So that's something I
Mhm.
like.
Yeah, and is it pretty fast?
Yeah, it's actually pretty fast for a drone like this. Like it doesn't like you can choose to have GPS off or on, and when
Hmm.
GPS is off, especially, you can fly it really really fast just because it's in ADI mode, so it doesn't have that
Hmm.
added
Oh,
stability.
that's interesting. I might try that with my old drone just to see if I can make it fly faster.
Yeah.
Um, and in terms of charging it, how do you charge it? It's just like with a USB?
Yeah, it's just the batteries pop out of the drone like this, and then you just have the regular USB, the micro USB that just plugs into the side of the battery.
Hmm.
And if you buy the base package, they actually send two batteries. So if you run
Hmm.
out of one, you still have another one to fly. So yeah, I really like that about this drone. That just pop it in and then fly it, just like you would a DJI drone.
Hmm.
Some
I
of the
think.
drones at this price points actually
Mhm.
have batteries that are just stuck inside of the drone. So you just have one flight and then you have to bring back it and
uh,
get back in charge. So, yeah, I definitely like that about this drone.
Yeah, I was just going to make a sort of assumption or to describe this drone, like it has probably most of the features of let's say a prosumer drone like your Mavic Air or
Yeah.
Mavic Mini, something that you can pull batteries out of, and it has GPS and video transmission, return to home, smart features. But I guess that what you could say is that things are just, that to keep costs down, they've lowered the specification. So things like
Yeah.
the video transmission or the video quality, or even yeah, you know, I think there's other ways to lower the cost.
Yeah.
You know, you can bring in a perhaps a smaller GPS unit.
Mhm.
What so I would just want to talk about those some of those advanced features. So you said there's some like an orbit. What are some of the other advanced features that it has?
Yeah, so they have the orbit, they have the follow me, and I believe I'm not sure if I remember correctly, but they also have a tripod mode, so it'll fly slower. So if you're trying to like say get through these branches that are close and you want more control, it'll lower the flight speeds. I think there's also a gesture mode, which I haven't tried, but and they also have a waypoint mode, which is pretty cool. So they have a whole bunch, and then of course they have the regular mode and then ADI mode, the GPS mode. So all of these are within the app, and you have some of the essentials like return to home right on the remote controller. So that's
Mhm.
good, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we can just talk a little bit about I don't know the sort of the space you're in or how you're using your drone, and and you know maybe that'll I don't know give people an idea of what they use their drone for. So, what do you use your drone primarily for?
So I already have a drone that I'll use for photography, so I won't take this drone to say when we go hiking or something like that. But
Mhm.
I think this drone, for me at least, is a drone to have fun with. I'm used to having a really stable, really reliable drone, and not that this one isn't, but it's just a little lower on the specifications. So I just I miss I sometimes I miss that kind of
Mm.
feeling of having a drone where it's more beginner, and I really like that because it brings you back to how I started and just having fun. That was the purpose. So yeah,
Yeah.
I use this drone for fun. I'll take it to the park and stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
I've
Yeah.
tried flying it in the house too.
But as you said, you had an unfortunate experience with a wall. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. As soon as I flew out the door, it just hit the wall on the other side and just wasn't good. No.
Well, I think that's fair enough because you know I made the mistake of flying my Phantom indoors, and that didn't last long. And
Oh,
even my Tello, just because there's a little bit of latency with the you know the controls,
yeah, the
um,
Wi-Fi
I've
and
hit,
all.
I've hit the wall. But well, that's yeah. Well, that's good. And so, where's your next? Let's say where's your perfect drone adventure? Say you were going to go somewhere and you really wanted to fly. Is there anywhere you would really like to fly?
Just in general, or taking this drone?
Yeah. Oh no, in general, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'd like to go to somewhere with a lot of greens and then contrast with snow because I've never had that sharp green and contrast with snow, and there's very few places you can go to get that. So like going to Argentina would be pretty cool, and then I think just missing that contrast because here in California, of course, we have a lot of cool places to fly, but places like the beach have a lot of blues, and that's really beautiful, and that's my favorite place to fly. But
Mhm,
also, when you get into the mountains, everything's all dry, so you
mhm,
don't have too much contrast in that. And contrast is something I like when taking pictures and stuff. So yeah,
mhm.
like going to somewhere with lots of color would be really cool. That would be an awesome
Yeah.
adventure.
Well, fair enough. I probably have the same deep desire as yourself. I mean, we were doing a bit of trialing yesterday and flying, and the weather here is like it is over there. It's
Yeah.
long, dry summers, and most of Perth is dead, dead, dry grass, and you can go to the beach, but you know, there's usually a lot of people at the beach, and
Yeah.
just to be polite and you know, I try not to fly around people, and I
Yeah, for
hate
sure.
questions.
Me too. I know. When you're trying to focus, it's a little bit hard to talk and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's yeah. It's good to know that even somebody from a younger generation who's probably got does maybe you do lots of gaming and the joke or the assumption is that when you're younger you can handle all that sensory input, and then as you get older you got to focus on one thing. But it's good to hear that even at a young age,
Yeah.
nope, you just want to fly your drone. You don't want to carry on a
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, it's too
Well,
hard looking up, looking to the side, trying to fly and everything.
yeah. Okay. Well, that's we're gonna make sure everybody hears that part of the interview. Um, well, thanks, Nathan. It's been good having you on the Soarcast, and thanks for trialing the Contixo F24, and thank you, Wayne Watson from Contixo, for providing this drone so we can have a go with it. And yeah, thanks, Nathan, for joining us on the Soarcast.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks, Nathan. And that's all we have time for today. Tune in to our next Soarcast for more discussion on geospatial products and imagery found on Soar.